Welcome back. It's still the Morning Breeze, and this is the episode of the Topical discussion, still continuing with the raging discussion around the pending trial of Bobi Wine, Honorable Kyagulanyi, who is set to be in Gulu court-martial today to answer several charges. But that aside, it's a story that has gripped the globe, and certainly there have been comments coming in left, right, and center from renowned artists, from different persons all over the world. And the president has also actively written missives, written his opinion on the raging subject. This morning we'll be touching on the legal and the human rights issues that seem to be emerging from this entire, I wouldn't call it a debacle, but the big story, the big development. And I'm joined by Counsel Chihika Oscar, alongside Mr. Muhammad Ndifuna from the Human Rights Network. Gentlemen, a very good morning. Good morning. I'm so delighted to have you with us this morning. Do you feel the rage?
Well, obviously you feel the disconcerting emotions around all this.
Are they guided or misguided emotions?
Both, I suppose. Both. Politics is always an emotional issue. There are those who look at it from a cool assessment, and there are those who are always going to be emotional about it. And so you're going to have a mix of these things. But generally speaking, like I have observed, currently this is what is going to be in the news cycle with us for the next 3-4 weeks, maybe 6 weeks, until another event takes place. But for now, this is with us, and then we see how it plays out.
What do you think are the outstanding legal issues that the country should be focusing on? Well,
I think that the major debate right now, which is focusing around particularly Bobi Wine, is, and the question is, the question marks is, why is he being charged in the court-martial? Why not in the civilian court? I have yet to really understand that. Until and unless I see the charges. But
the argument is he had a gun in a hotel.
Yeah, but you see, possessing a gun in a civilian's hands illegally. There are offences that can be that can be tried in a criminal court. That a court that is established to try civilians in a criminal court. Obviously there was an amendment some time back, I stand to be corrected, of the law where it was stated that if a civilian is found in possession of a gun and then is shooting or terrorizing people, then he has to face the military court. But there's still, I mean, in the legal fraternity, there's still issues around that. That's how you're going to find, and I wouldn't be surprised if his lawyers eventually run to the Constitutional Court to challenge that action.
Before I get to Muhammad, is this more of a political issue than a legal issue?
It's a little bit of both. It's a little bit of both. From my perspective, when I saw the way events were unfolding in Arua, it is clear that there was some mischief going on, mischief of a playful manner, which may have gone overboard, right? Now, nobody is above the law. If you as an adult, then it might just be, you might be mischievous, but then you go and do something that probably you cross the line, you're going to face the law, okay? So to that extent, that's legal, right? But then when you cross that line, okay, how you are treated is a totally different question, okay? Again, legal.
Again, there is also a contention on whether there should be clemency for Bobi Wine and others, and the 33 others who were arrested during the Arua scuffles. They're saying it lies in the hands of President Museveni?
That's that is a political question. That's a political question, because all this arose out of what? It arose out of a political exercise. There was a by-election that was taking place. There was campaigning that was going on. There was politicking that was going on, and it all went, unfortunately, horribly wrong. A life was lost, properties were destroyed, and so on and so forth. Right? There was a bit of civil unrest. And from the government perspective, it was believed that these individuals were whether true or false, were the ones behind all that. Now that is going to be tested out in court, whether or not the evidence is going to come out. Now, because it arose out of a political exercise, then this furore, other quarters are arguing, and that's why they're arguing that, that's why at the end of the day, it's up to it's a political decision to decide, say, guys, let's cool down the temperature, let us pardon these people.
Mr. Ndifuna, we want to track the genesis of this story from the time Honorable Bobi Wine Kyagulanyi and others were in Arua. The president wrote and said they imported hooligans to Arua who caused chaos, the unfortunate death, and now that is incarcerated, there have been pleas coming from different angles. It's a story that has registered twists and turns. From the human rights perspective, what's your reading?
Well, there are several human rights issues here. I mean, if you track the whole story as it has unfolded, one can look at the question of torture, for example. It's a human rights issue here because the dignity of a person has been denigrated. You can look at the issue of treatment of prisoners. Again, that's another thing. There are guidelines on that. You can look at the question of the right to a fair hearing, which underscores fair trial. Again, whether it's fair to try civilians in military courts is an issue that has been ruled on. I would like to state here that UNET initiated a communication to the African Commission on Human and People's Rights following Black Mamba 2, and very much the same circumstances. Now, 11 years later, we have received a ruling. It came in March. And I just want to read this very little text coming from the African Commission on that. Military courts should not, in any circumstances whatsoever, have jurisdiction over civilians. Civilians having neither military duties nor functions cannot be tried before military courts. The trial of civilians by a military tribunal violates the due process and fair trials and the fair trial rights, in particular the individual's right to a hearing by a competent, independent and impartial tribunal. And the government of Uganda has been directed to amend the UPDF Act to prohibit the trial of civilians in a general court martial, and has been directed to get back to the commission in 180 days. Now, this communication came to the state and us in March. So within the 180 days, all this is happening. So what does it mean that actually the government of Uganda is sneering at the commission? Because precisely what it has ruled on is what the government is repeating. So there is the question of fair trial here. And again, the other issue to interrogate is the issue of the use of force, disproportionate force in dealing with the situations that might merit security agencies to act. And again, where we have fatalities and the right to life is extirpated, there are issues here. So there are a couple of human rights issues that we are concerned with here.
Do you think, Oscar, do you think human rights activists are reading too deep into this by raising questions of torture, where the person who is in such a very indisposed mode should be even arraigned before trial?
Well, you see, the human rights activists, first and foremost, have got their rule book from which they read, and that's the Constitution. The Constitution has got, and it's in the Constitution where you have the Bills of Rights, right? So they're not getting this thing out of the air. And our Constitution, like most other constitutions, has got a very elaborate Bill of Rights, which enumerates the rights that a citizen of Uganda is entitled to in a free and demonstratively democratic society. So well, of course there are certain exceptions, but not with detention, but there are those that are entrenched, right? Yeah. And they are non-derogable. They are described as non-derogable. So what human rights watchers and lawyers do is they tick off and say, they tick off the boxes. Has each of these boxes been ticked? And where there's a cross, they come out and raise the flag. They raise the flag. Mm-hmm. So when you look at events that, for example, happen in Arua, okay, you cannot deny the fact that nobody is above the law, right? Yeah. You commit a crime, you're going to face it. You are going to be arrested. But the Constitution states that even when you're being arrested, you must be treated in an humane way. That's an inalienable constitutional right. So they're not reading anything. I don't say they're reading anything. What they're just basically is that they're applying the constitutional principles to a given set of circumstances.
Well, the entire episode has had so many highlights. The owner of the hotel where Bobi Wine allegedly had a gun has come out to deny, to refute claims that there was a gun in the hotel. Could that be having a bearing on the case?
Well, without now meaning to get into sub judice issues, obviously he's going to be one of the witnesses, I'm sure, that if it gets to trial, that will come out and testify to that effect, right? For now, all we can do is just
has all the opinion that has been served towards this entire story, does it have any effect?
All the
all the opinion that has been stated on this debacle, does it have a bearing on the trial?
Ideally,
the president has written severally.
Oh, look, everybody has had an opinion, and we are all expressing opinions. Speaking from a judicial point of view, or what they're expected to do, is look at the facts dispassionately, right, and then apply the law, and then make their judgment. They are human beings, of course. But once it actually goes into the court domain, then that's when the trial starts, and that's when the sub judice rules.
Well, Mbigi has been awash with those stories, all pleas, that seem to portray Bobi Wine and others as prisoners of conscience. Do you agree to this assertion? Well,
I think that very much comes from the circumstances and the precedents in this country, because we know that repeatedly the law has been used to criminalize political opposition in this country. We know, and actually a bit of what I've been citing here arises from circumstances such as those. So one can easily read a bit of that in what is happening now. Of course, we know for sure that when last year the media was awash with cases of torture, you remember Narufenya, that constrained the president to come out and write a missive that you alluded to. First of all, actually feigning ignorance that was taking place, and then writing specifically he wrote to the Chief of Defense Forces, the Inspector General of Police, and the Director General of Intelligence Services, directing them to ensure that actually torture does not take place, although he said he doubted, because he only hears of it in the media. Now that has happened again, does it mean that these agencies have disobeyed the commander-in-chief, or that actually the Fountain of Honor is not truthful? So there are all these issues that then one raises a question mark, a big question mark, but and that plays out into the perception of people as to what is happening. So let's
look at the various shifts.
Yes.
Initially it was a stone.
Yes.
Then it turned into a gun.
Yes.
At one moment, issues of terrorism also set in. Prison.
Yes.
I mean, what do these dimensions suggest?
Now, all these undermine the fact that, undermine the truth, whatever it is, because it can't keep shifting colors every minute. I mean, in it also you found the story of an escapee in Rwanda hospital who has not been arrested, or you know. So what is the truth? So if your word can't be trusted, then people will impute many things into it, even if you're speaking the truth. But if it has different colors and it keeps changing shades, you are in trouble.
Do the different shades present a huge challenge to the DPP to find a right case?
Well, that's the thing, you see, because when you get, of course I cannot verify these different things, but for me, what is happening is that I seem to get the sense that the investigating officers or whoever is in charge of this process is trying to ensure that he presents a set of facts right before the court that from their perspective are defensible. Okay, so if they're not happy about one set of facts, they're probably trying to fall onto others. I mean that if you ask me from a technical point of view, tends to, I think, without going to the debate of a trial, jeopardize a prosecution, the credibility of evidence that would come before an independent tribunal becomes.
How do you look at this trial, this pending trial, as a lawyer?
Look, it's a trial like any. First and foremost, for me as a lawyer, I look at things dispassionately, right? Everybody is equal under the law. If they have committed an offense or are alleged to have committed an offense, they should face, due process, okay? And the due process demands that it's an open and fair trial, okay? And you leave it to the judge, rather you leave it to the prosecutor and the defense to conduct their case, and then the judge make the decision. That is from the technical point of view. There are people, there are commentators, obviously, because of the circumstances out of which this action arose, which is there is a political connotation to it, and that's why we're having this debate. We don't have this debate when somebody goes and hacks his girlfriend, or the girlfriend cuts off his boyfriend's instrument. So, we never have this debate. Okay, we're having this debate because it has public political connotations, and it's really about politics. And that's why when I began my remarks, and this is one of, perhaps I said, I think this is a trend that has been happening in Uganda. Right now, this is the trending story. And it will be the trending story with us for the next 3-4 weeks. And I can bet you, after that, we shall move on to the next trending story. You'll probably call me back to debate a totally different thing.
Would you correlate this with the trials that Besigye went through?
Oh yes, in my view, and from a historical perspective, there are actually parallels. There are actually parallels here. And where do the parallels come from? I'm going to go away from the legal angle and now talk from a political angle, actually, slightly political angle, because from Besigye's perspective, obviously he at that time still is a politician who is obviously competing for power, right? In a manner that was, if you will, a bit defiant, because he was not happy with the circumstances or the environment under which or the rules, okay? And he decided to, on several occasions, defy, those rules. Don't seek for permission, do this, go out, and stuff like that. Then on the other, of course, the state was going to push back, and we could see what happened then. He was severally arrested, produced before court, all right. Sometimes handled roughly. That is it. Parallelly, similarly, in this situation, again, you have a set of politicians who are trying to state their case. It's in the context of a by-election, right? And somewhere along the way, they actually crossed the line, in my view, right? There are certain things they were being naughty, really, and I think things kind of went awry. The state pushed back, but in this case, I think it went a little bit overboard. Okay.
So far, has Bobi Wine's rights been violated?
Oh yes, I think. No, I mean, it's clear. Let me ask a question. Can we please not only talk about Bobi Wine? Let's talk about the entire lot of people that have been arrested.
Okay, Bobi and others.
Bobi and others, yes.
Because apparently the spotlight is on Bobi Wine.
Yeah, because, and that's why that's what, you see, this is a sad thing, because you're bastardizing what has happened to others as well, you know. Yes, their rights have been, apparently. So for those who have been mishandled, their rights obviously have been infringed upon. That's my assessment from what I see in the news. It's not only Bobi Wine. You have got this young MP who's in Rubaga. I mean, that's Zake. I mean, how you arrest a person?
The Karuhangas, the Mwirus.
Oh, yeah, I don't know about those ones. I don't know whether they also were beaten and stuff like that. Me, I'm talking about the ones that I've seen. From my assessment, look, if you have somebody has done a wrong in your perspective, arrest him. That's okay. We have no quarrel with that. But for heaven's sake,
why torture him?
Why beat him to that extent? Why beat him to that extent? Even let us suppose that he was trying to resist and stuff like that.
What kind of force do you use?
That is disproportionate force. To a point where somebody cannot speak, is put on oxygen.
And our constitution provides for presumption of innocence.
Well, again,
yeah.
There's just too much reaction to this, and apparently the principal, who in this case is the president, looks very interested in this case and what is likely to come out of it. Could it jeopardize or help in the case?
Well, I mean, the issue is this going to be an entirely legal process or a political process? You know, like my colleague has already pointed out, there are two tracks, and at some point they even converge. What triggered the legal process probably was political, and will the legal process go on and interfered by the political figures here? That is very unlikely, and it was the bone of contention in the case I've alluded to in 2007 that we made to the African Commission on Human and People's Rights, and we see a replay here. So it's not going to be another script. and so the General Court Martial cannot be adjudged to be an independent, impartial, competent court for trying a civilian. So that is the bottom line. And you know that President Museveni is the commander-in-chief. Yeah.
Well, and as we speak, the trial is set to begin any time. What we gather from Gulu is that there is some bit of activity that is ongoing now. The team that is set to try the honorables and others who were arrested in the scuffle has already arrived in Gulu, and they're driving into the court-martial. It's going to be a very interesting day, and NBS television is going to keep tabs on the developments as they emerge. Speaking again outside the legal framework, how is NRM coming off in this matter?
Well, it depends on which side of the coin you sit.
You on their coin, on their side.
It's okay. Listen, I think as things stand, really, you see, to a certain extent, due process is being seen to be being done. Okay, so arguments can be said that this is because the NRM has been in power, but
there are traces of the rule of law.
Yeah, you could it is there, so to speak. That's an argument that can be done, and it is there indeed. The thing is this: and I've got to be careful as I choose my words in here. You see, I think it's not about whether it's NRM, right, or whether it's FDC or whatever.
Can I just break the news? General Guti has arrived at the Gulu court, and trial is set to begin just shortly. He got in about 3, 4, 5 minutes ago amidst very tight security. And as we speak now, our reporters are already on the ground. We're counting on whether it will be possible for our cameras to be in the studio, rather in the courtroom, or it's going to be a closed session. And we're still trying to establish whether one of the key suspects, and in this case it is Honorable Kyagulanyi Bobi Wine, will be in court, or he's already arrived in court. Our own Benson Ongom is going to be giving us regular updates and real-time coverage. What you're seeing now are images of of General Guti arriving in court. The trial is set to begin any time shortly, and apparently there's also going to be another trial at Machindia Court. So I don't know whether there's going to be coincidence or they're going to run concurrently. General Guti is expected in 2 courts on the same day. Does this mean anything?
Well,
or perhaps I can bring that in shortly. But Benson Ongom is on standby, and anytime he's going to be giving us an update. And Benson Ongom, how is the mood in Gulu at the moment now that Guti has arrived?
A very good morning once again, Simon. I can tell you the mood is still tense, and we're still in front of the 4th Division barracks here. As you can see in my background, that is the gate, but I can tell you there's high security deployment here. But what we can also confirm to you that Lieutenant General Guti Andrew, who is also the chair of the Marshal Court, has also arrived with his team, and have just entered. Now, from what we have also been gathered, because there have been a lot of questions, Simon, whether media will be allowed in or not. I made some call to the 4th Division Commander as well as the 4th Division spokesperson, Major Telesfor there, but he did confirm to me that there were names of journalists who were sent for accreditation, and he has just moved to us as journalists. Is trying to talk to some of the journalists to try to accredit and to verify the names of the people who are entering in the barracks to cover the trial of Bobi Wine. But I can tell you, Simon, that is my picture coming right there. There is heavy military deployment from the side of the barracks as well as from the side of the town, because at the north side, Simon, we have the airfield, and also at the left side, we also, the southern side, I beg your pardon, we have the town. That is Gulu town. So what we are seeing as well, we are seeing a couple of cars coming in and entering into the military barracks. And I can tell you the cars we are seeing is Ugandan government stroke C. It seems they are government officials. So that is how we are right now at the military barracks. But if I can also talk to the 4th Division spokesperson who is here, I just want to get hold of him and I try to talk to him briefly. Major Telesfor, good morning.
Good morning to you.
There have been a lot of talks whether media will be allowed in or not. Can you verify that information? Because as you can see, these are different media personalities from media houses. What is happening?
Yeah, the media will be allowed in. They are accredited journalists. I have 10 in the number, and those are the ones at least accredited from the head office. They will be allowed in.
Maybe if you can take us to speed, what time will the trial start? Because journalists have not been told on the time the trial will start, and they're just here waiting. And as well, the public who are waiting for them to give the news to them don't know the time it will start.
Yeah, the court is set. The chairman of the court martial is already in place in the venue where the court will take place, in the courtroom, and it is a fully composed court. So as soon as the people to be tried, they come in, the suspects, then it will start. So
in other words, Major Telesfor, you're confirming to us that Bobi Wine, who is a member of parliament for Chadondo East, will be tried at the military barracks in Gulu today.
You have been allowed Benson Ongom. You will be part of the people. You are part of the people who have been credited, so you will see the people to be tried. Let me not tell that you are the ones to tell it. The people you will see in the court.
Just preempting a little, has Bobi Wine arrived?
I don't need. You will see them yourselves.
Thank you, thank you. That is Major Telesfar, who is the 4th Division spokesperson at the Gulu military barracks here, trying to confirm us that the journalists will be allowed in, and definitely also confirm that my name is also part of the journalists who will enter to the barracks, and I mean in the barracks rather, beg your pardon, and also watch the trial. What I can also confirm to you, Simon, is couple members of parliament has definitely arrived here. As I told you earlier on, they're all in the way to see if the court will grant them surety. Let me just go to Honorable Oyet Simon, who is a member of parliament in Fonua. Good morning, Honorable.
Good morning, how are you?
I've seen you come through. There are a lot of talks here. Would Bobi Wine be granted bail or not? How ready are you? Have you made contacts with the military barracks if you're going to enter in to see the trial of Honorable Kyagulanyi Robert?
Well, I'm here to stand as a surety, one of the sureties for my brother Honorable Bobi Wine and Kyagulanyi, and I know I'm a law-abiding citizen, so I have all the qualifications to stand in for him, and that's why I'm here. I've got instruction from the family to be one of the sureties. Whether the military is going to allow me in or not is none of my business. But the most important thing is actually we must be there as a law-abiding citizen. And actually that's what they've been demanding, that if it is true that there's any allegation or any accusations against our brother Honorable Kyagulanyi, let him be produced to competent court. We respect that the military court-martial has been instituted by UPDF Act. That's why even civilians are allowed by the constitution to stand surety. That's why I'm offering myself with full instruction from the family as one of the surety, and that's why we are here.
Just to stop with that, I also want to ask you, how prepared are you as the opposition member of parliament coming in to support Honorable Kyagulanyi Robert for today? How prepared are you?
For us as members of parliament, we are prepared, regardless of the political affiliations. We are fighting for our colleagues. Today is Bobi Wine, tomorrow is Simon Oyet. We want justice to prevail. We want the law to take its course. We don't want to be ruled by a kind of military junta. No, that cannot happen. NRM as a government has been known for democratic movement. It has fought for liberations for this country, which we do appreciate, even if we don't belong to the country. But what we are fighting for, even if we don't belong to the camp. But what we are fighting for is for justice to prevail. That's why we are here to stand by our brother. I'm one of the sureties. We got instructions from the family and many other people. That's why I'm here with my brother, Honorable Akol Anthony of Kilak North. And then I have the chairman, LC5 of Amuru. Many others are still on the way. We only pray that we are going to be accorded that right
Thank
of
you.
standing surety for our colleagues.
Thank you. Thank you. That is Honorable Oyet Simon. Let me talk to Honorable Akol Anthony, Member of Parliament for Kilak North. Honorable, have you really confirmed that Honorable Robert Kyagulanyi is at the 4th Division? I've seen a couple of you coming in, and you're saying you definitely come in to support Honorable Robert Kyagulanyi in case of the need for surety. You're already here. Have you confirmed he's already here?
You know, we've got communication from the lawyers, from the family, and then we have to be, straightforward. We don't want this kind of situation to continue in the country, Uganda. We have stake in this country. And it is unfortunate that Honorable Kyagulanyi, who is actually in a bad situation, is not allowed to get bail, which is a constitutional right. So as members of parliament, we are here, we are not going anywhere. So if we are standing, we are ready to stand. And I don't think anybody can say we are not credible enough. We are credible people, and that's why we are here. And I would like to make it very clear that this government must respect the rights of human beings in the country.
Honorable, just before I go, I want to cut you there. Have you been allowed to access court?
Well, by now they are telling us to wait here, that somebody is going to come to talk to us. But we have the spokesperson here who doesn't want to talk to us. And it is unfortunate as a country. We don't feel happy at all. If you can see, the lawyers are here now, and we are ready to support him. Thank you.
Simon, I can also confirm to you that the lawyers that are presenting Honorable Robert Chagulanyi, Honorable Medet Segona, has also come in and is just getting out of his car. I also can confirm to you that Bobi Chagulanyi, who is the wife of Chagulanyi, has also arrived at the military barracks in Gulu. Just here, Honorable Medet Segona and Honorable Opio Nicholas Opio, rather, that's a lawyer, has also come in. We're live on TV, Honorable Medet Segona. Have you confirmed Honorable Robert Chagulanyi is already here, and are you people ready to definitely apply for bail? What's the expectation for the day?
Well, I received a text message last night telling me that he would be in Gulu, as opposed to Machindi, where they had told us he would be appearing. So I traveled here to confirm what they sent me by text message from the registrar of the General Court Martial. I cannot speak with certainty that he's here, but I have the confidence that he has no reason to lie as a registrar of what they describe as a court. So we will find out whether he's here. Ready for what? I can't know, because I don't know what the nature of the proceedings are going to be. I'm just prepared as a lawyer generally to execute a function within my brain. Incidentally, as I was coming, I received information that from 3 a.m. my house is surrounded. They do not allow anyone to move out or in. So their intention, I guess, was to lock me in, make sure they turn my house into another barracks of some sort, surrounded by 4 police patrol vehicles and other people moving on foot patrol. So I don't know, but we will know.
Just before I let you go, Honorable Medet, what's your expectation of today, and do you really have faith that Honorable Robert Chagulanyi will be granted bail today?
You can never have dictatorship. Thank you.
Thank you. That is Honorable Medet Segona there, Simon. But I want to take you to where the wife is. I've also seen the arrival of Bobi Chagulanyi. As I move with my cameraman, I definitely want to move to where Bobi Chagulanyi is. And I want to remind our viewers, we are live in Gulu at the military barracks, at the 4th Division barracks, where we expect Honorable Chagulanyi Robert, commonly known as Bobi Wine, to be brought here for the trial. Simon, as you can see, that is Bobi Chagulanyi. And we can confirm to you, she has also arrived to definitely witness what will take place today at the military barracks, whether the husband will be granted bail or not. Just a word, Bobi, are you sure? Have you been informed that Honorable Chagulanyi will be brought here and will be tried today here?
Yes, I got communication that he would be brought here, and we are waiting to see if actually he is here.
What is the expectation today in the military code, especially for your husband to be granted bail? Do you really have faith?
I just can't conclude on what I think is going to happen here. Let's all go in and see what happens. I don't know what will happen there. I have to leave.
Okay, thank you. Simon, that is Honorable Bobi Chagulanyi. I can confirm to you, she also arrived, the wife to Honorable Robert Chagulanyi. She has also arrived probably to witness what will happen to the husband today, and probably whether the husband will be granted bail. And what I can also tell you in front there, if a cameraman could really focus there, a couple of members of parliament who have already come to witness the trial, and as well the lawyer. I've seen Nicholas Opio, who is also a lawyer, Honorable Medet Segona also coming in. So I can tell you they're making their way through the main gate of the military barracks here in Gulu. So that is what I can confirm to you. But again, what we have been told, journalists will be allowed, and the trial probably will start at exactly 10 o'clock today. And we are waiting for a verification from the 4th Division spokesperson if media really will be allowed. But I can also confirm to you, Simon, there's heavy military deployment outside the barracks. And I also want to remind our viewers, we are live and we shall bring you the event as it unfolds in Gulu live. My cameraman is taking there. That is Bobi Chagulanyi, who is the wife to Robert Chagulanyi, commonly known as Bobi Wine. I've also seen, Simon, the police have also joined in to support the army, definitely try to provide security here. So, Simon, that is definitely what is happening in Gulu today, and as well as we go through the gate there, that is Bobi Chagulanyi, couple members of parliament already at the gate there, Simon, if you can see. And we just want to confirm if there will definitely be let in the barracks, rather, I beg your pardon there, because I've seen Medad, who is also a lawyer, Nicholas Opi, who is also a lawyer. So we just want to confirm whether they will enter. Families of Chagulanyi Robert, commonly known as Bobi Wine, has also arrived. Will they be allowed? I have seen an officer coming in to help in the verification process. So if my cameraman could just take you there, Simon, you can definitely see, will they be allowed in or not? But I want to remind our viewers, we're definitely live at the military barracks in Gulu. So that is what is happening at the moment. Just holding on, an officer is trying to talk to the lawyer. And just reminding the viewers that we're at the 4th Division Barracks in Gulu district and in the middle of the town there. So, Simon, again, my picture can tell you that the lawyers are already there trying to access the barracks through the gate. But at the moment, still, I think there will be a little verification process, plus the family. Part of the family is also here as well, so I can tell you. So that is definitely what is happening. The journalists have been told to move a little behind, Simon. So that is it. The journalists have been told to move back to the ground where they were initially on. But again, I'm seeing the gate being open there, Simon. But the councils and a couple of members of parliamentarians, rather beg your pardon, are still standing at the main gate there, not yet allowed to access in. So that is what is happening, Simon. That's definitely what is happening.
Benson,
you can see the gate is being locked again.
Benson, I just want to interject and ask you a question. Is there foreign media or it's more of local media at the scene?
Simon, what I can confirm to you is the definitely local media who are at the scene, especially from Gulu and some other people who are from Kampala. I've seen media houses from Kampala also coming in here, but mainly they are local media here. I've not seen any foreign media around, but definitely you can't say they won't come. They might make their way in. Simon, again, if I can take you to that picture, I'm seeing some of the members of parliament and the council who had come to, the lawyers who had come to present Honorable Robert Chagulanyi walking away from the gate there. I don't know what is happening, and I've seen the officer who had come to talk to them make a call there. Simon, that is what is happening, and the media personalities are being told to move a little back. So we are trying to retreat to where we were standing earlier on. But I'm seeing a government car make its way to the barracks there. Members of parliament still standing outside the gate. The lawyers who had come to present Honorable Robert Chagulanyi also out. His wife, Bobi Chagulanyi, is also outside there. So definitely that is what we're seeing at the moment. And we're seeing, I'm also seeing, I beg your pardon, Simon, a police van trying to also support the sister force there, packed in and checking checking the security. But the media have not been allowed to move in front. A couple of calls being made by officers
Benson,
inside, and that is what my eye can see.
Benson,
Simon.
The 4th Division spokesperson said that 10 journalists had been cleared to enter the court premises. Just about how many reporters are at the scene?
Simon, if I can just estimate, because there are quite many, I can see more than 20 journalists who are already here at the 4th Division military barracks. And I don't know whether all of them will enter inside, but also I'm seeing the 4th Division spokesperson trying to make some call there as well. He's trying to talk to one of the journalists from the New Vision, if their names are really there. But I can confirm to you, NBS has been allowed to get inside and do the coverage, especially me as well, Simon. So I can confirm to you that we shall be bringing the events as it unfolds live. And there's some journalists who are still writing their names, definitely if they will write their name. Honorable, beg your pardon, rather, Simon, if I can take you to the former president of FDC, Mugisha Muntu, as well, arriving at the scene, and a former leader of opposition in parliament has also arrived here. Honorable Winnie Kiza have also arrived. So they're still trying to, greet themselves with the command on ground. But if I could just have him talk to me a little, but he's still trying to have a conversation there with the 4th Division Commander. But let me just have him. Honorable Mugisha Muntu, you're live on NBS. Again, the last time we saw you here, Mugisha Muntu, today we are seeing you here. What is the expectation for today? And do you have faith that Honorable Chagulanyi will be granted bail?
First, we have to be allowed access in the first place. I hope we'll be allowed access. And if we allowed access, we'll be able to know whatever decisions are going to be made, because the lawyers are contesting his production in the military courts. And we will wait and see what the decisions are going to be made.
General Muntu, this is the UPDF that you commanded at one time. And from what we are seeing, and from what you have been hearing, the battles on the journalists and politicians as well, what is your faith, really and honestly, on this UPDF?
It's unfortunate what's been happening. First, the beating up of members of parliament, the beating up of journalists, the beating up of people who were doing their own businesses, some of them in town, and even those who are trying to carry out peaceful demonstrations. It looks like the army is finding itself, not only the army, I think all the security services are finding themselves caught up between a rock and a hard place. It's a complicated situation. However, we are going to keep on speaking to the leaders, the commanders, the officers and men in uniform to know that it's a country, 40 million people, that there's a burden they are carrying, and they must exercise the responsibility of being in uniform with discipline and with professionalism. Because one thing they cannot run away from, at least those who are in command, is to know that when there is a transition, when it is delicate like this one is, they must exercise responsibility. Because if they don't exercise the responsibility, the country can really skid into a situation which none of us would want us to see ourselves get into. So we know the difficulties they are facing, but at the same time, when you are holding an office, it comes with responsibility. So they must really marshal all the courage that they can marshal all the training that they have had, marshal all the experiences they have had, and bring it to bear in this situation that we are in. It's a very complicated situation. But I would like to believe that, considering that they have got the experiences they have and the training that they have, and also knowing where UPDF, for example, has served, it has seen countries which have simply fallen apart because of bad governance. It has seen countries which have almost become failed states. And therefore, they must really ensure that the mistakes which have been made, let them learn from those and bring back the country from the edge where it is now. We pray that they are able to do that. But they also need to know that if they fail, they should know the consequences of that.
General, just finally, if I could take it through, how ready are you, people in the opposition, especially for today? I've seen a couple of members of parliament and also party leaders who are former coming in to join, and give support to Honorable Chagulanyi and the family. In case the army decide to bail, how prepared are you?
I mean, there are a number of leaders who, if it requires bail, would be able to stand surety.
Thank you, General Mugisha Muntu. Someone there, I've been talking to General Mugisha Muntu, and I want to get into a conversation with Honorable Winnie Kiza as well. I just want to. She's also trying to make her way. That's a former leader of opposition. What I want to let the viewers understand, she has been standing in solidarity with Honorable Chagulanyi's family. Last week, when Chagulanyi was brought to Gulu as well, she was here, and again she also went where other members of parliament were being detained as well. So that's what I want to tell you. But I want to get what she's definitely trying to say. But again, Simon, if you can see, we are seeing other military officers still joining in, coming in from the airfield. So we can't confirm to you who is in that car specifically, because it's coming in from the airfield there. So we can't confirm who is inside there, but we can confirm to you it seems to be a high-ranking officer in the UPDF. Simon, we're still at the gate as well, and we have seen a couple of members of parliament, former leaders in parliament, and as well former president of the FDC, General Mugisha Muntu, also here. So that's what I can report to you. I just want to have a look. Who is inside this very van. Simon, if I can confirm to you, really, that is General Andrew Guti, who is in that very car. Sim is from the airfield there, so he's trying to make his way to the barracks. I just want to get to Honorable Winnie Kiza, former leader of opposition, who has stood solidarity with Honorable Robert Chagulanyi. Expectation for today. Last week you were quite disappointed. What's your expectation?
We were too disappointed that, one, we could not be allowed to access Bobi Wine. We were equally disappointed that he couldn't be taken for medical treatment. We are still disappointed that he's appearing in a court where he's not supposed to be. So we come here to show solidarity with many Ugandans out there, even non-Ugandans who feel that there is a lot of unfairness, there is a lot of injustice meted on Ugandans. So we are here today to ensure justice prevails. We are here today to ensure that human rights are respected. We are here today to ensure that people power prevails. So we shall stand in solidarity with Bobi Wine, together with the other colleagues who are in prison, who are in incarceration under trumped up charges, because we know even the charges against him are barely trumped up charges. So we are here basically to ensure that Bobi Wine is released.
Honorable Winnie, what has been like for you, the opposition figures in parliament, seeing your colleagues being told, you can't access your colleagues?
It energizes us the more, but it also gives us the courage to fight on harder, and we are determined to do that.
Simon, what I can confirm to you, we are making our way to the military barracks there. We are being allowed in. So we are just making our ways, and we're definitely following some of the members of parliament who are ahead of us. We're seeing a couple of them as well. I'm seeing Honorable Medet Segona, Nicholas Opi, Honorable Cole Anthony Chagulanyi also. So we have been allowed. So I've been told that we should go through verification. So Simon, I will hand back to you in the studio.
Well, thank you very much, Ben Sonongom. And I think my guests in the studio would love to talk about the anxiety that is greeting this entire episode. I'll begin with you. The kind of anxiety, you see the opposition, the enthusiasm that is coming from the masses, the war on Twitter and other social media platforms.
Like I said, of course, it's a trending topic, which has got different legal and political dimensions.
Is it motivated by anything?
Of course. It's motivated by the fact that today in Uganda we are a highly politically aware country and population. And this people are aware of their rights. Because of the constitutional order that has been, imperfect as it may be, it's gratifying to see that you have got people who are more willing to, speak out and assert their rights. Right. So hence all this debate, and this comes out of the democratic processes that have been in place, imperfect as they may be. And I think this kind of discussion, by the way, is not unhealthy, right? It's what helps to the growing of a stronger society, because you see, unlike days in the past, and Simon, perhaps you'll bear me witness on this. Incidents like this, which used to happen before, the discussions were always held under the table. The agitation was always held under the table.
So these are signs of democracy.
These are signs of democracy. But imperfect as it may be, and it is good. It is good. What is happening here, I mean, from different perspectives, is obviously sometimes raises concern. But as long as we're having this discourse and we're having this discussion, right?
It's healthy.
It's healthy, because then it helps to inform those in positions of authority on what they should or should not be doing.
To what extent is this episode a turning point in the pursuit of rule of law and observance of human rights?
My appreciation of rule of law is that, one, there should be supremacy of the Constitution. There should be equality before the law. And then, of course, one will be interrogating whether that is happening or playing out. We've just heard from the lawyer representing Kyagulanyi that actually his home has been surrounded, meaning that actually they do not want any representation for Honorable Kyagulanyi. You can see that, you can again interrogate that. There should be respect of human rights. We've just been discussing and pointing out areas where there have been breaches of human rights. There should be due process. And again, there are ample instances we have harped on here that show that actually due process is being interfered with.
Okay, in just a minute, there have been two options, and I want you to weigh in here. Some section is saying, let there be pleas to President Museveni to pardon Bobi Wine. Others are saying, no, let's take the legal path. How do you come in? Where is the middle line that can be sought?
I think for purposes, my personal opinion is that really for purposes of healing, there should be dialogue between both parties here, and honest dialogue between the both parties here.
Should President Museveni forgive Bobi Wine? So
is it President Museveni to forgive Bobi Wine? You see, let's separate one thing. There are processes that are going on, right? There are processes where Bobi Wine and company have been arrested for a series of offences, right? There are institutions that are that are in charge of that. So, in one of the institutions, it's in the hands of the DPP to decide whether or not to withdraw the charges. And on the other instance, then we have that going on in the military court. Now, this is now speaking legally, right? But both administratively, both can actually be steps can be taken, right, to, if you will, withdraw the charges. But then, from whom should that come from? That can be initiated from the political what? From the political arm. Just so that there is, you know what? There is settlement.
And that should be...
There's a settlement. But you see, at the end of the day, what we must understand is that we are all Ugandans. And I suppose we all want the same thing for all of us, a better Uganda. The question is, in the conduct of how we handle, the conduct of ourselves, in the management of the politics, right? Are we handling ourselves responsibly? And this is to all sides.
Okay, I want to take this to Mohammed. Do you think the plea for clemency should take precedence over the legal battle?
I mean, that's interesting, because we have cited violations of human rights here, and who is clement upon who in this case? What we would like to see is a dispensation where there is a respect of human rights and the law, and that means even the president himself and others that have a duty to implement the law respect it. Now, My colleague has said there are processes here, both political and legal. Now, we have been insisting on the political process for quite some time. And you remember the Citizen Compact campaign and other innovations, including the one that is being led by the Interreligious Council for a national dialogue. Because we see that actually, increasingly, we are on a slippery slope. And so, unless we have a dispensation where we have a dialogue, we are headed to have more of these.
Gentlemen, thank you very much. Unfortunately, we've eaten into the time for breakfast meeting, but certainly we're going to have so many live updates coming your way. Thank you, Muhammad Indifuna. Thank you, Oscar, for coming in. Good morning.